much for the sacrifice there. I know it's not easy to come over weekend. We are here on Wednesday. I think we need to appreciate Professor. You know, I call Dr. Prof. We need to appreciate our Dr. Panga. Is it okay? Just Jinjuri Sheke style, okay? So, 1, 2, 3. Ingine. Punga. So now, thank you, love. So because we don't have time, on Wednesday we are here, and you see on Wednesday we end a bit of, let me say, the young pharmacist. But today I can see that there is there, is there, is there, So the aim for this training, and the president is trying to do as much as possible, Luis, to see that we have a change in pharmacy practice. I think we have to have that one back in our mind. And as much as he's trying to come up with policy, at the policy level, and even other effort he's trying, you can't do it alone. You need us, okay? The people, Professor Berger used to say, it is pharmacists to create demand for themselves, okay? I remember what he used to say. There is a lot of work for us, but we have to create it for ourselves. You can't become for CS immediately like an MO, okay? But there's a lot. And we said on Wednesday, it's only 5% of the knowledge we have as pharmacists that is being utilized. The 95% is not used anymore, okay? And this is where we want to move. So the purpose of this activity is to see whether we can champion for the profession to be known and to have impact and to get expected therapeutic outcome for the patient that we are serving, okay? Because currently what we are doing, nobody can sleep beating a chest that have done intervention today. Okay? And if you have done, well and good, but you cannot follow up documentation for the reproducibility of the data. We don't have that, okay? So that is the reason why we have these two trainings. And the aim is to see how we can elevate you and me to become a practitioner and to become a service provider. And I told them the other time, a lab technologist provides services. When you send patients there, he just gives results, which are written in a paper. He does not give a product there, okay? A nurse provides service. You do dressing at the casualty, and the patient will go without any product. And you charge for that, okay? And I'm more the same. I look at everybody's giving service. But when you come to us, see, I was telling the other people training, we are branded as traders. And you can't refuse that. You are purely a trader. The way somebody is going to Gikomba, take second-hand clothes, that's the way Wanjiku knows. Umetandika what? The product. And by the grace of God, we want to see how can we change this from the various levels that we have practiced, from community and from hospital setup. And because we have our seniors, clinical pharmacists, and other specialists, we need to embrace it. You may need to sacrifice. You may not have money to be paying for that. You may not see Medisup producing photocopies for you to conduct medication reconciliation in your facility. You need to spread your own money. Because of the practice. Go and get those forms, standardized forms. Spend your money and get them. Enroll your patient. But you are looking at the future to come, okay? But Shinda to county, you don't want to spend even 100. You want to write an LOP, you want to follow up. You won't make it in that. Create your own room. Push it by force. Sit with that MO there who is conducting MOPC, okay? KU, do that. But as long as you don't take any initiative to document, to enroll patient, and to be identified and associated with the patient, then doc will do all these things, but still we work the way we are working until we retire, okay? If we are not going to be retired by the government, okay? That is the issue now. And because we are doing medication reconciliation on 25th, we are not doing MTM. But medication reconciliation is part of MTM. And we thought within that, can we have a small package for MTM services, okay? So that you can have a skeleton of what problem is expected for us after we we finished the exercise. Number two, the chairman of PR committee, Dr. Nis, told you, we want to collect data from this 1 week that we are doing this activity so that we can publish. So, and we expect you, because you are the expert, to have accurate, reliable, okay, also in the research, that what we can produce. Is it okay? Good. Now, I think now we are set to go. And maybe about MTM, I'm very passionate about MTM, more than MSc pharmacology of brain in Kathare. More than, I read about MTM more than the rats and the mice. I interact with them there daily. And I think I bought several books and the copy for MTM all the way from US. And I've invested. And I remember, just a small story, in Nairobi Hospital, I remember I was called for interview, for local, though they didn't give me. So I tried that in, I don't know, we sat with Kisingu and what do you call her, the clinical pharmacist, the mom who is experienced. Right? Yes, Kerry. In a panel, and see what I look at my CV from Ghana. It's MTM. And that's giving money. What is MTM? Can you tell us what is it and how is that? I took almost 45 minutes telling them, that is 2013. Okay? And they were very happy. So, and they make sure they make Peter your kid. Now they can us in. So I don't know who did something at the reception there. make sure I not go for local. So it is a long thing. And I expected from that time, we can start picking and doing it, okay? So, it is a history. But before I define it, let's look at the history of pharmacy. Those who are in our park, I told them, it started in the 18th century. Don't mind about Kimeru, okay? So, and the pharmacy was studied through, what do you call it? Apprenticeship. Like witchcraft, you know? Witchcraft is, how you inherit witchcraft is through what? Apprenticeship. You don't go to school. 20 years, 10 years, and then you inherit that kiondo ya akina Dr. Yaire. So that's the way it was. And in those years, the pharmacist was not required to dispense based on a prescription. It was that way. Though physicians were prescribing, it was not a mandatory. And out of that, now there are so many patients coming to them for in one roof shop. You can get ATM like New Nakman. That's the way patients work with pharmacists. And physicians realized no. So they developed FDA, okay, which saying that they are prescription drugs and the other non-prescription drugs. And the pharmacist was denying some access to those. So they started practicing that. 1969, they said pharmacists should not discuss this condition with a patient. That is in America. Again, they say pharmacists should not discuss prescription content with what? With their pharmacist. I think you need to read that history. You like IMDF. So these guys, they say no. They came up with a very robust curriculums. That's when they introduced PharmD. Okay? So that because these guys want to counter level technical and expert level. So they developed PharmD. And they now train clinical pharm, all those aspects, so that they cannot, our pharmacists know what they are doing with what? With the patient. And in that time now, 1990, Hepler came up with what? With the pharmaceutical care, which all of us were aware. And I think in 1994, another guy called Solon. Hepler defined pharmaceutical care as patient what? Centered. Do you remember? There's another guy in 1994, he changed this. He's a pharmacist. And he said, Hepler said patient care centered. And me, I said, risk management model. Okay? And I like this definition in reading the books, because the pharmacist is at the risk level. You have taken the medication, you want to manage what? The risk. I think he was a bit brilliant. So that is a bit of history you can read on yourself. But now, in case somebody asks you what is MTM, you need to have a definition that is acceptable all over what? The world. It's not about us. We are not inventing anything. It's what is happening, okay? And this is what they defined during this conference. China, Europe, all over. France, they met in 2008 and they came up with what? And which all of us we can adapt, because we have nothing else that we can say. We know about it. So this is the definition. Distinct service or what? And group of service. If you look at my website, I talk about group of service about MTM. There's MTM services, there's smoking cessation, there's one-off MTM, there's family planning, MTM, kila kitu is there, okay? So a group of service, including immunization, okay, that's why they say or a group of service, so that somebody may not ask about why are you providing this and this, okay? That the aim is to do what? Optimize therapeutic outcome. And we say there is no any other person that can optimize therapeutic outcomes. There is no one. It is only you and drug expert. The others may try, professor may say they may try, but they cannot do it effectively like a pharmacist can do. Are we together? Mm-hmm. They may know very little and probably about the drug, and the little they know could draw, but they can't accept, okay? So now, for individual patients and independent, but can occur in conjunction with what? With the product. Now, why MTM? Because we want to say, I don't need to survive behind the culprit behind me, okay? I need to survive because of specials, Dr. Liz. No. I can survive and make money without any product. This is the beauty of MTM, what is happening in America and the Medicare, okay? I can walk to any company corporate and I tell them I want to book for MTM exercise for your employees. Maybe it's Bob called me when he was there. And I say, can you prepare a room for me? Can you enroll your patient on chronic medication? How many are they? There are 100. I want to plan for them. I want to be here from morning to evening, okay? And go through the comprehensive medication for them. And I will do that. I don't need to be in a ward, okay? Are we together? I was almost to tell you, praise the Lord. But that is the concept. You see, I had a patient in Aga Khan for almost 1 month. And when I was looking at the babe, I was seeing everybody is changing. Physiotherapist is changing. Alikuja kwa patient 10 times, I'm a change. Nutritionist is changing there. This person for gym, for exercise, is changing. Anesthesiologist is changing there to insert a cannula. And I look at that bell, and then Professor Wasike changing there, Sanchez. And I looked at it, and I asked myself, where is the charge for the pharmacist? Where is it? Does it mean a consultant pharmacist cannot charge in this list? Okay? Why should I pay 3 million and I can't see my service there as a pharmacist? What is happening? Because they know with somebody who is there at pharmacy is to pack and deliver. They know that. Okay? But we will not be there soon than later. Okay? Good. Now, there is just a definition of MTM we have seen, and we are saying it's just a brief presentation. We are saying it is part of the expanding role of the pharmacist. There is no any other person who can provide MTM. We need to know that, unless we are not able to take up the task. If we are not to do that, probably we don't know. Because they try to do it in America. America, they say a nurse who can provide, but they tried and the statistics were not good. It's only pharmacists who are around and reimbursed by the insurance. So it is we. And we don't be worried about other people. Pharmacists evaluate the medication prescribed and how a patient is feeling to identify and do what? And resolve issues. You know, I like MTM the way they are doing it. Because these guys, they realize, they are, as much as Dr. has told us what we should do, when I look at the government pharmacists, because I know you well, okay, very well, I wonder how you can practice it. Sometimes it becomes a challenge. Number one, you are not motivated to initiate the practice, okay? There's no motivation. Sometimes you are fighting to get the documentation to insert your form in the ward round. You find the physician are not accepted. Even today is not happening in Cambridge. You can't go and put your pharmacotherapy form there without a process. Do you understand? So there is that aspect that is affecting us. But for those who are in community, it's your own community. You can initiate it and practice it well. And call me for Ruka, okay? So there are those challenges. So you need to identify. And once you identify, you do what? You cause intervention. Because there are many, many gaps and many, many problems. Okay? That is our work. But currently, no one is doing that. The patient gets the prescription from the physician, he experiences some side effects, and the first person to call is who? Back the physician. Okay? what am I feeling? What should I do? They don't know why you should not call him again about the drug effect. They shouldn't call you. They shouldn't call you. So we want to change that, and I think God is going to help us. Now, certain untreated conditions, drug interaction, handovers, all those things, inappropriate drug doses, and whether patient is taking medication as what? As prescribed. This process is very tedious. Okay? As much as you may decide to do it, you are not able to do for more than 10 patients in a day. You'll be very, very tired, and your brain will not be working well. And I'm going to see why. Yes, brother. So involve regular is a regular exercise, okay? And why we are saying is regular, because we want you to develop relationship with this patient. We want you to retire with this patient back in your village, okay? We want him to call you that I want you to see me as my doctor of pharmacy. That's what we want. We don't want a one-off exercise. Take times 3 and that is over. No, we want them they can call anytime and they are sure that you are there. Okay? That's what it should be regular. Now, this should be direct contact, not over the grill. Okay? If you do it over the grill, you are just wasting time. There is no impact I'm going to cause. Let it be direct contact between you as a provider and the patient. And that's why we are saying if you have a consultation room, it's going to work very much for you, whether in government or in community pharmacy. Okay? Good. It's a practice-based. Remember, it's a practice. And what we normally say, for you to become a guru in practice, you must do it several times. Okay? It's a practice-based activity provided by pharmacists, pre-qualified pharmacists and even chemists. Okay? Next is what? So, what is the focus? And as we go through this, because I know you are reading, I want you to see the difference and similarities between medication reconciliation and MTM. You just go through your memory brain and try to analyze it. So, it's for the whole patient. Do you understand? But the focus is what? Is the product. At clinical level, you're supposed to focus in terms of disease aspect and the product. But at MTM level, we focus holistic approach of this patient. And this is what we are saying is risk what? Management. Because you must manage risk which are associated with economic factors. Okay? And we said probably this patient was prescribed Kathare when he was a state officer. Okay? And he had a driver. Okay? And he was driven as a state officer. And he couldn't buy Kathare at 120. But he's a retired officer. There is no pension. So when you have about 100 per tablet, you can't. Okay? So that is why you need to look at that factor and advise the patient. There's another one here, but not cargo. There's another diclofenac here. It works the same, okay? You need a lot of time to educate this patient that Kathare is the same as this diclofenac because he knows Kathare. You need a lot of time, and now this is why you bring your knowledge. It's not quacks, it's that the real knowledge in place that to educate these patients. So that's what we are saying. Drug therapy is a recognition of specific patient drug-related therapy. Remember, you see why I was asking Dr. about MRPs? It's because in MTM we focus more about drug-related problems. We cannot avoid to focus on disease aspect. We can't avoid. But our claim and reimbursement aspect is not disease aspect, okay? In the consultation, we cause intervention in all areas. But when we are asking for reimbursement, we don't ask for disease condition. It is intervention related to medication, related to what? Problem, which are initiated by who? By the physician. Do you understand? Yeah. Good. Now, so pharmacist provision of personalized, okay? Is personalized because there is what we call patient factors, isn't it? Yeah, and that's why we are personalizing MTM to individual patients, okay? And remember, we keep on repeating drug-related problem because these guys, they had a problem in the US, a lot of problems, but we are taking away our patient. You are taking away our patient. We can't allow this to happen. These are clinics, okay? By the issues, we are dealing with the drug aspect, okay? We are not touching about disease condition, we are not diagnosing, okay? Is about the drug aspect, the problem rate, and intervention we can cause about the drugs, and inform the referrals that we can do pertaining to the drugs. Good. Now the intervention suited to individual patient and needs. Now, how do you cause intervention? Because Dr. Panga has just mentioned a lot of interventions. Now, we are causing these interventions a lot. But when we are practicing MTM, these interventions are documented. For instance, if your phone patient is on methotrexate for a long time and is not on folic, okay, you just recommend folic. You cause that intervention, you recommend it, and you develop what you call physician letter. If he has a physician, can you develop a physician letter? Tell him what intervention you have caused and what you have recommended. Let him go back with the physician letter to his physician or a physician. So by that, you have caused intervention, you have documented, and you have allowed patient to go with it to his physician to see what MTM pharmacist you have done. When you look at it, you say, oh yes, I forgot about this, okay? If there is regimen you have gone through and you have reconciled and you have found there is a polypharmacy here, or there is a wrong choice of drug, maybe somebody is on a Philippine, is complaining about edema, okay? Now, you need to review the patient and make your intervention a recommendation. I recommend to switch this patient from the Philippine to what? To what can you take to? Huh? Yeah. So what can maybe there are calcium blockers, this is it. Okay? What can you change this patient to? If he's complaining about, and you think people we know and all over. The Philippines is known for headache and what? Edema, yes. So what do you substitute to? Not substituting anyway, it's a bad name. But what do you recommend? Back to the physician next appointment. Yeah? Okay. So I hope there are no more Kenya pharmacists. So now, yes, amlodipine. Okay? Why do you recommend amlodipine? Because this is where we see these pharmacy core units are very important. In MTM, you can't operate with it without the core subject of pharmacy BIFA. This is where you bring your pharm chem, okay? And you open the structure of the Philippine. Look what functional group is at position 10 or 6. Is it amine group? Okay. Look at now amlodipine. What is at the same position with this? Is that functional group responsible for what? Vasodilatation of blood vessels to cause headache? Okay, fluid retention? Okay. Do you understand? Now, if you go to that level, you cause displacement with a molecule which has got the same bi-isomer, isn't it? Then, but it has the different functional what? Functional group, but they act the same. So you can recommend to the physician, why am I recommending from this to this? Because of 1, 2, 3. And attach the latest in journal pertaining that. You just read it and say, yes, there's a serious person somewhere. Okay, and you will respond. Because they have responded. I like MD minor. You know MD minor. Response to those letters very well. Very well. Until you feel like jumping in your chair. Yes, I knew. I knew they will come, you know. So that is the kind of practice. And if you can develop that kind of practice, you don't need to go saying, I'm a pharmacist. Oh, this is a pharm thing. Oh, this is a clinical officer. Oh. But if some patient asks you, why am I feeling headache when I take Nafindip? That is one of the defects of Nafindip. It's known to cause headache. And that's all. Even nurse knows that. Even clinician knows there is edema. But can you move a bit to that and educate patient and understand why and how it is happening and how we are preventing it, okay? Good, next thing, because you don't have time. So, so what are the outcomes for MTM? This is what you want to get. And number one most important thing is this, okay? Give us an appropriate drug use. And we say, if patient is using drug well, that's a controlled patient, okay? And you expect to see that patient less frequent in the MOPC clinic. You know, let me tell you the failure that we have. In Gatondo, I'm in Gatondo, Gegane, or where you are honorable, go to Doctor's Plaza, you see, go. And check maybe clinic for Dr. Nancy Mbugi, Makigelo, they are my friends, okay, I've marketed there. And you find there is a queue every day for diabetic patient, hypertension patient. Come to government. Those people are full. Every morning they are given talk by nutritionist. That is an indication of a failed system completely. If you manage your patient well, you don't need to see a queue next to you. You don't. That is an acute model that we are breeding in this country. You don't have them. If you are properly managing this patient well, that queue does not need to increase, need to lessen as the day comes. I know you need to agree with me, but I'll tell you why. So number 2 is patient understanding. You see, if you sit down with patient and tell patient, this is why you need to take this with a doctor, 6 hourly or 12 hourly, because there is maximum concentration as minimum, or maybe digoxin, okay, in the word, okay? So why are we saying you take immediately after 12 hours? Because of this level. They would have gone down if you don't take within these hours. Now that patient, as you will be going with Matatu, you know, I was told if I don't take within 12 hours, there is a problem. You already understand why you should take 6 hours. Why you should take with food, or before food, okay, or when you're sleeping. So if you can succeed to make patient understand why they are on this medication and how they work, you have succeeded with that patient. That one is not happening. And who can do that is only pharmacists. But would you agree to do it for free always? We are saying no. You should develop a service model that you can charge for that. Okay? Good. So increase patient adherence with the prescribing drug therapies, reduce risk of adverse events, and then reduce the need for what? For other costly what? Costly medication. We said, I know if I ask you how many have cost intervention in terms of costly prescription here, I may get 1 or 2, or I may lack. Okay? Patient has come to you and is spending 20,000 per month on prescription drugs. I think I have like 2 are spending 23,000. Okay? Okay? And initially they were spending 38,000. So he has come to you with the 20,000, which even you yourself as a pharmacist, with this kind of economic strain, you cannot afford to sustain your parent on such a prescription monthly, even alone yearly. Okay? You get tired. So how can we help this patient? And this is what all of us we did as a unit, pharmacoeconomics. Okay? He is examiner one, we did it. How are we applying for? Remember, pharmacy economics is not health economics. It's not. If you look at those case studies, you find that it's a big difference. The health economists will think about cost. But you may think about cost. Nephrolax 5 shillings, but this patient is on 5 drugs which are 5 shillings. But what we will think about this patient being on 1 drug, which is a fixed combination therapy, and it's costing 20 shillings. Okay? So I have reduced a lot of risk in terms of organ, in terms of compliance, in terms of all those things. Like right now we have amlodipine, nifedipine, and hydrochlorothiazide as a 1 tablet. So during MTM we are able to explore this option. And you can tell this patient, if we can go through this, he will trust you because you are a drug expert. You are not going to recommend the wrong generic. You know what the PPV has approved and what is working for you as based on professional what? Judgment. So we are going to reduce this from 20,000. I want you to be spending 8,000. And this is how we are running at 8,000. What do you think would have cost the life of this patient? Both economically, health-wise, and even everything else. Are we together? Because patient who is spending 12,000, he cannot even buy breakfast in his house. There's a problem there. Do you understand? Good. The next, so that is pharmacoeconomics. I can't talk about MTM model complete. Just get the concept because I have shared this during Harvard. And these are the core elements. If somebody is practicing MTM in Kenya and you go in America and somebody asks you what are the core elements and you say this, you say yes, you are not from Africa. I think you stay in UK. You say in America. Because this is what they sing there. And this is the practice. So at least somebody can, what are the core elements? Just try to mention them. Read and go, you see. This is the model of practicing MTM. And how do they develop their claims? Their claims under Medicare, they are based on this. And all these under CMR, Comprehensive Medication Review. So they file 2 claims, CMR and TMR, Targeted Medication Review. So now this is what Dr. Panga just mentioned there, a medication therapy review. And I keep on saying MTM is not therapeutic drug monitoring. It's not. MTM is different from therapeutic drug monitoring, but therapeutic drug monitoring is under MTM as a package. Do you understand? Therapeutic monitoring, you need lab. like what is happening in MTRH, okay? You need to withdraw urine and check what is the concentration of this drug in urine. You need to know the creatinine clearance. All those things that we are talking here, we can't do them without our patient being in the ward or admitted, okay? Good, now, you do this MTF, medication therapy review. So this is where you develop a personal medication list. And we say currently, if you have a patient who can collapse near your health facility and is taken to Kathare Kenyatta, okay, the registrars there, they will start asking. They will ask the caregiver, do you take any drugs? Does he take any drug? You say, no, maybe he takes another white oval tablet. The registrar will say, okay, that is not a drug. Okay, does he take another anything else? He takes another green something capsule. That is an apple. You write apple. That is the PML will be developed there. And that is what proceeds from casualty to where? The admission ward. Okay? But look at it, if we are practicing MTM, we say every patient in our facility must get PML. Developed by who? By a pharmacist. Let him or her stay with it at home. Let the caregivers know this is what he uses. So that in case of any emergency, it's just to do what? To produce it at the casualty. Maybe the minister will ask you, do you have PML from the pharmacy? You say, yes, we have one. It was developed for us. That kind of practice will bring relevance to you and the profession. Okay? Now, number 2 here, you just try to develop PMR. PMR is personal medication what? Record. Remember now the world is moving to PHR, personalized health records, which you can find in online and ever the rest of your life you are going to get them there. And they can be shared all over. That's where we are moving. But here we say you can develop PMR. One read about PMR and see it has a lot of content more than patient profile that we know. Net of kin, precious factor, blah, blah, all those things. Any other drug has used, all those things that are there. Good. Once you develop that now, this is where MTM comes in. And if patient enters in a consultation room, he must go home with this one. He must go home with this one and PML. Medication action plan is now when you to develop it. And you don't develop it alone. You develop it with the patient. You collaborate. You ask the patient, how is your working schedule? How are you comfortable to take this drug? You tell you, no, I'm free to take this drug at night. And you know this drug cannot be taken at night, if it's lost at SHT, okay? So you need to work around and see what can you give this patient that is comfortable to take at night. That's the time he can take the drug, okay? So you work with him within the legal practice and evidence-based pharmacy MTM practice and develop that plan with this patient. Okay, then we ask the patient, this is how you are going to do it. You'll be taking this. MAP is about how you will do it, what you will do, and me as a pharmacist, what I want you to do. So you develop that document, and it must be printable. The patient must go home with MAP, and you must be left with your copy. Okay. Now this is the climax of MTM, because when he enters the consultation room to see physician, what does he comes out with? Is what? It's a prescription. So in MTM, we are very smart also. We want this patient to come out with what? With a document. Okay? And that's why we are going to charge 2,000 or 3,000 for 45 minutes we'll be sitting with you. Okay? Good. Now that is MAP. And how do you develop MAP? The case Kathare was giving us. Patient is on 3 drugs. During medication review, patient is on 3 drugs. The first drug, the second drug, and then drug. You ask the patient, how do you feel when you take this drug? Remember, you have the drug, all of them there. You tell you, when I take this, I feel like vomiting. So drug 1, it has vomiting. Write down. Drug 2, when you take this, how do you feel? Like diarrhea. Drug 2 has got diarrhea. Drug 3, how do you feel? I have headache. So you have those problems, medication-related problems, which now when you are coming to develop your action plan and intervention, you start with feeling like vomiting, and you go back to that individual drug. You go to your pharmacare. How does this drug cause nausea? What is the physiology of nausea? Okay, so where am I going to cause intervention? So you can't run away from books, okay? You must be reading. If you don't read, you can't practice MTM. You can't. You'll be just writing papers like to the ones we see is you're writing CTC times 3. So you just are sorting work. You're not in MTM, okay? So you have to be reading the current practice. So once you see that problem, you see how you can, what you can substitute with, and how you can recommend. It's not always to substitute the drug, but you can change the pattern. Like what Dr. Opanga was saying about contraceptive, and which drug was that? For me, in MTM, I like joking around with hours. Okay, that's how I don't stop patient drug, but I joke around with hours. If I know that the residential time for this drug in GIT is 30 minutes or 1 hour, I will tell patient take this drug after you have taken the other one after 1 hour. Because I have pharmaceutics. I know how long it will take it to enter into circulation system. I know how it will take to dissolve. So I look at residential GIT time, and I look at the half-life of this drug, or maybe duration of action. If it's a QID drug, within 4 hours, patients will take the other drug. Okay? Do you understand? That's about being creative in MTM practice. Good. Now, where I was, good. Now, intervention. So intervention is where you need to document. And when you cause an intervention, you feel good as a pharmacist. More than the way you just pack drug and give. In Nigerian, we had a patient, and I was saying the other day, that he was being managed hypertension for long. The hypertension is not stabilizing. So during MTM, you see what I did in Nigerian? I created a territory. See, sometimes you have to be stubborn. I created a territory. I wrote a proposal to the ministry about MTM services. So you looked at it. So what is this? What is the relevance of this? This is for pharmacists, for the patient. So I wanted funding. There was no funding. I took it to the, what do we call CEC? This was COH, the county health officer. I looked at it, give to the county pharmacy. I thought I have given the county pharmacy the copy. So I never heard from them. So what I did, so my seniors told me, already what you are doing, you can't bring change here. This pharmacy, we have been there. So those are my seniors. So what I did, I went and I checked where there were 2 MOs, Dr. K, Dr. Ochoki. They used to see patients from this room. So there were two desks. So I went to pharmacy, I took my table. Okay? And I went and placed it here at the corner. They were there, here. I went to the files for hypertension patient, homeopathy clinic. I singled 60 patients. 30 enrolled in MTM, 30 they are not in MTM for comparison purpose. So these files, I went through them and I recorded the status on enrollment to MTM clinic. What was BP when I enrolled you the first day? And I developed their contact, and I called them. So what I used to do, I used to review patients, and then I passed the file to Dr. Ochoki. And you see, within 2-3 weeks, they could see a different practice. I didn't have masters, okay? It's only B.Pharm, okay? They could see a different practice, because there are so many interventions I could see. You're managing patient for 3 years, is hypertensive, but you have never known where there is another underlying condition, asthma. So why can't you manage asthma first? We see whether it's affecting what? Hypertension. Why do you change drug for 10 times? Okay? So you look at that. Patient is on nifedipine, is a laxis. You can't discover patient develop arthritis because of what? Laxis. Because you read. You have to read, okay? So that's what I did. Now, by force, I forced myself there. So even if I go back there now, they know my work. Even if I don't have masters, that time they know we are no longer wagonjwa. And it came to a time when they are late. They tell me, Daktari, can you see those patients? You know, ukishafika hapo ni hivyo. Hata mimi sikuana shinda na. Hata ukichelewa, hata ukishave scored 1 week. 1 week. I have no problem with you. Okay, that is it. But you need a lot of sacrifice. When you cause this intervention and you review patients, then you are going to develop what to call informed referral. You see, informed referral is not like a quack referral. Okay? You have gone through the system and you have come to impression. It is either this one, rule out what? This one. And when that physician will see that referral, you just see it is either this or this one. You will not say, how can this guy talk about GIT obstruction and this patient is CNS problem? What kind of pharmacy is this? So that's why you say you develop an informed referral and it makes sense. Now, this is the problem I have with the majority of us. We are doing our best and we are trying to practice, but documentation we don't have. I know there are challenges, especially county clinical pharmacies. There are a lot of challenges. For you, those who are in community, I don't know why you are not doing it. County, there are a lot of things that before you insert a paper there, you a nurse can take it out, okay? So, you know, so this is where we have a problem. Nairobi Hospital, how can you develop your files with patient names? How can you develop this? What Dr. Panga will give us? How can you make sure it's in the patient file? And when we are going wardrobe, you can tell the physician, can you check back there? There is what we call intervention here. There's something that I've intervened about this patient, about this what? Hey, don't take them now because Dr. Panga will take us through them. So you see, but if you go wardrobe, and just after wardrobe you walk and go home, remember the MO intern is going to make notes in that file. Physician is going to make notes in what? Nurse is going to the rough. Is this nursing Kanda? How do you call it? Candex, okay? But now, if I come down and I want to learn, what can I see that was intervened, caused by clinical pharmacists? You can't make it. If it is not documented, it's not what? It's not done. And how can you publish? How can you see when this woman came, Serem, you see where he was finding who? Farmtech. Where's the pharmacy? I've never seen Farmtech. I've never seen a pharmacist here. See, and I'm there, those guys there. The only people are there, yes. This is Farmtech, we are normal here. Do they come? No. Do the pharmacists come? But if you have files, if you go to your area, you'll find my files there. Cabinet with my files for patients. You just look at what I do. This is what I do. And what I told the membership now, even I'm back, the patient I provide MTM will be charging 100 shillings. That 100 shillings is for me to go for conferences, to take me to PSK, taking me to Hopper, because it's me who is generating it. So you can't tell me there's no money. When I see I get what I'm talking about. It is there. Okay? Okay, and those are the things. So the things that you need to develop, okay? Don't stay that way. You need to think, Naka amuna chai kwa hiyo pharmacy, just merge to complaining, okay? So now, this is MTM toolkit. And it does a brief of it, MTM services. If you come to practice, where sometimes I hustle, kioski akando, you find some of these services. And one of them that I've joined is MTM in family planning. Because I want to thank ladies, all of them. Because I have realized there's a lot of potential here. Because there are so many, ladies, they don't know whether they are on drug. They are on depot for 3 months, they are not planned for 5 months, coil for 10 years. But they think it's a method. They don't know that this is a drug. That's what I've realized. Okay? If you ask them, I'm on a method. They don't know. And you see, how can a person be on a drug for 10 years without my review as a pharmacist? How? How can it happen? Who is reviewing her if it's not me? Okay? And you take time to make, because I have been having discharge for 2 years. What do you have? I have a coil. Okay? So, who can cause intervention on that? It is me. What do you use? I'm using herbal tablet, 1 per month, for the next 3 years. So, who can cause intervention on that? To develop what we call MTM in the family plan. This patient you book for the next 6 months. And let me tell you, if you are a serious pharmacist, you can't treat a patient and fail. You can't. And medical doctors, they know that very well. You cannot handle any patient, any condition, management, and fail to succeed in managing of that patient. Unless you are a Makenya pharmacist. But if you are really a pharmacist, you can't mess up with that patient. Because on drug choice will be perfect. You know, we look at the consultative agent, whether it's gram positive or what? Gram negative. And we go to the right choice. You know, by the way, I don't like broad spectrum. Because they don't work. They don't work as per the individual drug of choice. And I think you need to read about that and see. So the research, of course, if you have data for MTM patients, you are able to produce, to publish your data and compare with other sites. And then immunization, this one was done by University of Nairobi the other day. Vaccination, I think some of us participated there. Now, this is another area that a pharmacist should do. You can see Nairobi hospital, they see smoking cessation. I don't know how effective it is in Shaga, but I've never seen a successful smoking cessation program. But under MTM, you do it very well. The other day, I gave pamphlet, and women came. They asking, do you have this clinic for Mira, my husband? My husband. I know that we have. Actually, we have like yesterday. Yes, we have. Okay. Because I know what is Nimera. Okay? I know the active ingredient there. So, with my pharmacognosy, am I going to fail to know another plant which has a different active that can antagonize this active ingredient in Nimera? I know. And I will capitalize with that apple. I'll capitalize with that. And I will take the electronic smoking, all of them, but my target is another herbal that can antagonize effect of what? Yeah. And I'm good in that, and you are good in that. I only charge 6,000 per section, and that's all. Within 1 year, you see me have changed economically. See, that's why we I was telling the other group, we are very poor. Let me tell you another person, except Anis. Anis, you see, we are here, come place, maybe Amengangana Sana, and probably because he studied outside the country. So, majority of you, I know, you are struggling. Struggling. Bank balance is negative. Yes, you cry when Tito has kept quiet. I look at those guys, look at our colleagues. The other day I took my mama to Akani Chuja. I found one of my colleagues in my facility, and then he's the one who coming there. But I come out, yeah. You are saying my mom, yes, I'm here, Bala. When did you left there? No, I'm here this day. Per hour, you're paying 2,000. You're there 4 hours. That's 8,000 in a day. How will you compete with them? You won't. You go to Silop, you go everywhere, you retire poor. So we want to perform this kind of service. Develop it. We have network. We have pharmacies where patients come with complication. Can we say we are going to be referring our patient to Dr. Wambui, the clinical pharmacist? Let him review this patient. He can charge them 1,000. Every day we send you 10 patients. But you cannot send him in one grade. You must establish what? A proper practice. We have patients to Konawa in our hands. And these patients, they need a lot of help as far as drug issues are concerned. Can we cause that intervention? Yes, we are finished. Now, prescription, this is to train the caregivers for these patients who they have stroke, they can't handle their medication. So in MTM centers, we also treat them. The other day patient, she came on 30th and we took BP and it was around 240. So I told this woman, please don't go where you are going. Go to Riri Minjitsu, get admitted, and give her the referral letter. But the woman did not go. So I think the other day, she was brought by the daughter. She got a stroke on 50th. She had been in hospital for 2 months, okay? And when I look at that woman, I just feel like crying, okay? So now, what am I doing? The MTM I cannot provide to the mother. I can only provide to who? To the daughter, okay? Who is the one to help her manage and follow the MAP, medication action plan. Are we through, brother? So now, this is the model. We are saying why MTM? Improve health outcomes and save lives. You see, this is what I was telling Hopak. You know, last year our theme Hopak was tackling NCDs, isn't it? Yes. And PSK about NCDs. KPA about NCDs. So I was asking, so what is the progress today? You talked about opportunity of NCDs for pharmacists and how to eradicate or reduce the incidences. But can we hold it ourselves? Can we hold it ourselves and say this is what we have done? Can we have a tangible talk? We need people who can say, Hopper, we want to sit with you, President. And we ask you, how much are you spending on medication for this country? It's 100 billion. That's what I'm spending on non-communicable diseases. How many patients are on medication? Go to insurance. How much are you reimbursing for chronic medication? 50 billion. Tell this man, through MTM, we are going to reduce this budget from 100 billion to 50 billion. How? We are going to review patients. Those who are on 10 medication, we put them on 5 medication, if it is okay. Not all patients that cannot do on polypharmacy. Remember, they are the ones that have to do on polypharmacy. But 90%, they are on those polypharmacy which you can intervene and cause a very good intervention on them. You'll be making sense to these policymakers. But just say the role of NCD in pharmacy, there's nothing. There's no intervention. What are you telling me? He's an investor. Okay, he's an investor. But if we have that kind of talk, we are spending 50 billion through MTM services, we are going to reduce to 25 billion. So can you take 5 billion and reimburse us for this service? The other 10 billion, Pereka Kobaraba, will be making sense like a brilliant professionals. Okay? Now, who qualifies for MTM? Anybody. As long as you are using drug. Anyways, ASCAD, we need you MTM to follow up on you so you cannot develop peptic ulcers, okay? Good. So chronic disease conditions and high drug cost. High drug cost, you said that those high expensive drugs, you need to enroll those patients for that. What we provide is medication therapy review, ongoing medication and monitoring. Okay, this monitoring is patients who are taking the drug, you book them. Like what we do, you start booking patients twice per week, and then you go to once per month, and then you go to 3 times in a year as you monitor the program. And every time you develop CMR, so that the patient can go and share with what? With his physician, okay? And then patient education. There is what we call one-off MTM service. Patient comes to you, I've been having bleeding for the last 2 months. That is not patient to just handle and release. It's patient you enroll for MTM for one-off service. Can you try to know the past medication history, the PML that he has been using, what are the problems he's taking, and then course intervention. I've been taking Promulten, I've been taking a steroid, I've been taking this, P2, I've been taking 3 per day. Okay, you develop that. You develop that. Now course intervention now. If you find you cannot course intervention, which I believe 90% of drug intervention, you are capable to do that. Then do what? Informed what? Refer. Don't be quick to say, I send you to gynecologist. Then why did you go to school? Why do you make some referrals when you have not even verified whether it's a result of drug issues? Why? Brought this person and taken concussion apple. Okay? Why can't you go through that and charge for that before you send referral to gynecologist? Kwanza acha amelipa consultation yapo naenda na referral letter. Okay? Good. Yes, who provides is pharmacist. It is known all over. It's only a pharmacy can provide MTM. The rest they will just gobble and they will do the wrong things. Then what are you paying for? Pay for consultation. It's service. There is nothing else that you are charging. If you want to buy drug, just buy somewhere else. Okay? Then I think we are through. Oh, not yet. So implementing MTM services. We have 2 pillars which you can go and see what is happening. This is what I was talking about, CMR and the TMR. Why are we saying these things? Because if we are to practice, we must practice what the other world is what is doing. Okay, we can't develop our own policies. We want to see how they are doing. How are they paid by the Medicare insurance? So that when we develop our model, we are basing on that. So we said this one is specifically for physician. It's like CMR, but this one is targeted to physician patients. Okay, you say, dear Dr. Kaima. Okay, then you give the patient, goes with the next appointment. That's why you call it targeted medication review. Good. I don't need to be out there. CMR, these are the components you look at. The point is friendly. Okay? It must be friendly. If you are to succeed with any patient, you must be what? Friendly. Develop that friendly. And this is why sometimes I don't understand whether some of us were meant to do pharmacy, nursing, or we are supposed to do mechanical engineering. Because metals don't talk, okay? But if you choose to deal with the patient, then there's a language, there's a conduct that I don't expect to find from a nurse. Or you as a pharmacist? I don't. I don't expect that. But when I look and I see the way we are behaving towards patients, I say it's better I could have done the electrical engineering, where you know if I touch this wire I will die. Okay? So you have to be very friendly with patients so that you can develop that relationship. So this is what to look at, okay? Over-the-counter medications, prescription drugs, and the ABO. There's a lot of MGM in ABO. There's a lot, especially this capil for 1 month. There are so many women on this. And when you sit down with them, you put a presentation on your screen, a consultation room, and you show them how this carbo is doing, enlarging of uterus, okay, constitution of blood vessels, supply of the kidney, heart, all those things. When they look at it and they see, they're able to come out that room with a picture that I need to stop this. Then present the data for people to be about the research they did, okay? You are able to succeed with the life of this patient very well. Good. Now, there is cosmetic there. There is cosmetic and dietary. We don't have any patient, any pharmacist who is dealing with the diet issues. Atuna. Go to those county governments that you'll be hitting arrowroot, it's just a cashew. Cashew is talking every Wednesday. They teach them very well. Now they say daktari amekuja kufunza. Tungoja tusikize. And they listen. Okay? And they talk about a lot of diet issues there, which some of them, they're just talking about poison. They think they're helping them, but they're poisoning them more. Okay? So we don't have, this area we don't have. You don't need to do masters in dietary pharmacy. Just look at the module online. We are dealing with supplementary nutrition, each pharmacy, and you'll find them there. Do that. And look for local and his place. Cosmetics. Cosmetics, they are there. How many cases of cosmetology? You did cosmetology in pharmaceutics. If you ask what is it today, you can't say, well, this we did as a unit, isn't it? See there. You can't apply it over the counter. But if you have MTMs in your consultation room, once you are doing comprehensive medication review, you can never escape from this. As long as you are dealing with a patient, you will never escape. I think I have 3 MTM patients for this. You can't escape. You can't escape. And there's a lot of money and willingness to pay them. Huh? Because you just talk to them, utakuwa kashana. Ngoja before you see, kweli daktari, yes, I assure you. Just, they don't need training. Okay? So now, this is another point that we need to struggle with. Let's scientists, Dr. Opanga, let's scientists and who are publishing know that. Please, let's avoid statement that don't go to the pharmacy and buy over the counter. Let's try to say, seek pharmacy when you're looking for over-counter product, where there is a registered and duly qualified pharmacist. Let the public not be branded that all the pharmacies, they are run by what? By quacks, okay? Let them create that difference when they are doing publication, especially on antimicrobial resistance campaign. Good, next is what? So comprehensive medication review is personalized, personal medication list. Remember, we want patient to come out with the sample, and that's what we said. We have realized, once he enters there, the physician room, he must come out with a paper, and that's what they go for. Just I had a patient, and they see, he told me, I went, blah, 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 so tell me how much are you charged consultation? I will charge 5,000. So, and why were you complaining when I charged you 1,000? How did you pay 5,000? And it was difficult for you to pay 1,000. Okay, blah, 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 blah. I wanted to get another drug there. So they know once they enter there, they do what? They will pay. I was looking at it when I was doing training in the morning, that there are doctors who are making 1 million per day. That's why I'm telling you, you remain poor. No, it's not a prophecy. 1 million, you have 3 that patient, and I know them. And they're charging what? 3,000 consultation. When you go to Professor Maimba, you pay 6,000. Go to Dr. Kamoto, dermatologist, you pay 3,000. Okay? And you have that patient in a... What is that? What is that? How much is that? So, and that is the daily activity. Why should you take VAT? Should they take VAT every day? Those guys, you see, I've dealt them as a rep. They ask you for a car. They call motors and say, can you bring this car at Doctor's Plaza? and take the other one. That's how they operate. They call. So bring and go with the other one. And those guys, they don't argue. Oh, where is your statement? Oh, where is your pay slip? Where pay slip? Bring your pay slip. Let me see deduction. That percent must be free. They don't ask them. Where would the struggle Sarah Kupata will get 2 million? So look at it. As the patient will receive a medication action plan, you can see PML and a map. Okay, those are your work. Nobody else can develop that. Next, brother. And then this is what we are saying. Look, involves mailing or faxing suggestion to the physician's who? Doctor, physician, or patient, doctor, physician, consultant, every what? Every 3 months. So this is a pharmacy should develop it. So we are saying in a year, you should be having TMR 3 what? 3 times. And we charge for it. Okay? And we bill the insurance company. Even I'm going to have the insurance company that can reimburse. Good. Yes, next. So I think you're okay. Now, I think this slide has talked about why we are not going to escape MTM. And they said if we don't do it, probably another person will do it. Okay? Because the world is struggling increased health budget. That's all over is shooting up. And everybody look at the way they can reduce budgetary for health care. So this is what is leading, and our constitution is about NCDs in MTM surveys. Okay, people are living longer with what? Chronic. Don't think that you get diabetes, you die tomorrow. This patient is there for the next 20 years. What is keeping you live? Medication. So you need a lot of intervention from you. If he's living 20 years, is your patient for MTM for the next what? 20 years. And he's paying 1,000 every month. That is 20,000. You need 20 patients for 20,000, that is 400. Okay? So you have to be motivated to do the service now outside the county facility. Next. Good. Now, which of open means that they require complex what? And this patient, they require what? Complex. Diabetes, hypertension, and arthritis. Okay? And some of them, zitakushinda. So you need to refer immediately. You see, there's no change. So, and then improving the management of chronic disease is the major focus of what? On medication therapy management. The focus is not economic gain, but is what? Is therapeutic one. Please don't focus on economic. This is where we, remember, there is pharmacy ethics, okay? And you took our oath. Senior, you took the oath. You didn't take oath for pharmacy when you were graduating. By the way, how many took oath? This is only 20%. This is terrible. I think that's why you behave the way you behave. I think Dr. Panga, you need to share that. It's amended now. I think it was amended. It's terrible. You know, BFAM is not like food and beverage code. You must come on with that one. The other thing, at least did you take it from UK? So, okay, now, the rising cost of drugs. You know, I was saying, the CS now, we want to take product. Okay, and we are here, we are pharmacists. The CS want to take what? Products. And you want to say this will not continue. There must be a price regulation for what? For medicine. So what is the next plan? Because she will admit, she will take over pricing issue and control. Paracetamol all over. It's one bomb, all over. And those of 20 tablets, 18 tablets. What do you do? It is high time that you prepare to take the service. She cannot take service from you. And that's what our colleagues know. Better than us many years back. Okay? Don't look at me that way. The next thing, so MTM services, so now we are saying rising cost of drugs is going to, but we are seeing government trying to cut the prices. And then MTM services are aimed at reducing and preventing what? Complications. And this is why I see the other guy, I think he's called Soron, the other guy, who improved on pharmaceutical care by EPLA, okay? He said now we are changing to risky management, okay? In preventive complications and inappropriate use of medication that drive up cost, okay? That is now, next. Good, and greater part of available medicines, there are many brands. I was telling you the other patient, a Kenyatta Pharmacy 1, he was given, and I think it's another pill, another brand. He went to Professor Muriuki, he was given another brand, but it's the same another pill. Okay, so at the end of the day, I think Dr. Ayako could tell us about the case. So he had like 3 brands of what? Another pill. Okay, now you look at that area, where was the pharmacist actually? This is KNH. Where was the pharmacist? Where there are less pharmaceutics. Okay, until Ayako could intervene. Look at it. So if it is your grandmother or your father, that is what can happen the same to your relative. Now, increased pressure for physician to do what? This is what will cause us to do MTM proper. They are called what? Certified. Patient has 25,000 consultation. As a physician, you don't want to give Coamoxiclav, which is known. You want to look for very complex molecule, branded and packaged for that complexity, and measuring 5,000. You give it. A patient said, no, me I don't take that. I only take Augmentin. And who does it need what? But because of that pressure, you do what? Physician will prescribe. Okay? So that is it. Patient using multiple pharmacies. You know, those who are in community pharmacy. It comes to you, how much is this Amloza? 10 bob. They move there, they go to another one. They meet a quack. Yes, this is Amloza you are looking for. Only that the name was different. Is this one? Yes, it is, yes. You go to another pharmacy. So that's what is going to happen. And then we have a prescribing cascade. I think Dr. Panga talked about prescribing cascade, and this is it. New condition, you give the drug, but patient comes with a second side effect. Instead of asking yourself whether this is about drug effect, as a physician, you will think how he can do what? He can counter this second condition. So he's going to give anti-inflammatory drug. But if it were you, are going to ask whether is what patient is complaining about as a result of the previous drug that he is taking. So that is it. What it's called prescribing cascade, which is happening all over, and nobody is addressing this. We are nowhere about this. I think the community pharmacy, they can tell you what they encounter. Next, so now, so changes in pharmacy practice and the role of the pharmacist. Now, this is what we are trying to see. We are saying pharmacist shortage. I know I said some of you cannot believe the shortage because we have our colleagues who are not employed. But we have shortage. We have. If Nairobi still says we need 10 pharmacists for MTM services, how many will go comfortable and say, watch and pambana na huyo, Dr. Anaitwaji, that minister, I want to see that minister and provide MTM proper. Let I hear. How many? We start gambling. And you know they are what we call expert patients. Expert patient knows the next move you make, and she'll know the move you're making is wrong. You know, they will come. You see, I was telling your colleague, I have a patient who was taking Rivotril and Epilin. And you see, she came one day and told me, Doctor, I'm not going to, he's an MTM patient. She's been in epilepsy for 20 years. Was being managed in Arakan and then moved to Kimbo. She said, I'm not going to take this drug anymore. I said, why, what's the problem? No, I won't. And she's very annoyed. Okay? But what's the problem? She told me, this is what happened. She know I take Rivotril, I think we had 3 tablets and they clean. So she took Rivotril and took a glass of water after eating supper, and she akaweka dawa hapo ndani. She looked at them, okay, checked, they are not changing. She said, okay, then we go back to sleep, I'll come in the morning. When she came in the morning, they are still tablets. If the pain I normally feel here, it means these things have been piling here. if they cannot be acceptable to water, what about in my stomach? I will take it. And say, can I get a ultrasound? Okay? you know. So you need a lot of time to explain to this patient. Now, if you are a pharmacist, you need to go back to your pH levels. Okay? You need to go. Look at PK level of this drug. What is the PK level of Epilin? What is the dissociation constant? What is the partition coefficient? You know, those things are not for useless. We're not doing them. MTM, you use them, okay? And you're able to explain to this patient. Okay? But if you don't know, you're going to shinda. Let me go manufacturer. true. None of them are from pharmacovigilance. Yeah. Can you check this batch? And then the day, people say, these are food. Never went to school. So the next thing is what? You know, so now what are we saying? Opportunity in managed care pharmacy is real. It's very real. You can measure to help patients on pharmacoeconomics. You can say, I'm looking at the pharmacoeconomics aspect of this prescription. Go and sit down with Professor in Arlington. Tell him I want to partner with him. I want to look at this pharmacoeconomics issue with your patient and review it. Do that only. So good. Pharmacy provides service evolved with MTM. Okay. Professional-wise success of effective MTM provision requires the willingness of individual pharmacists like us, and then a master of a number of behaviors, okay, and the techniques. You know, let's stop doing mechanical work. Let's stop mechanical kind of duties at our place. Let's leave them for other people. You are not trained to be mechanical. You are trained to be technical. But the rest time you need an extemporaneous preparation. Why? Even Loriondo, this man Loriondo, could make a concoction and call the whole East Africa. There, he made, here today he lives with big flat. He has made a flat. Just to prepare concoction and present in a metallic cup. He has never been in pharmacy school. So you are there. You know, when I was married, 5-hour work was to go to store. Nachukua ambulance. Nienda store inapinduka inekaa store. Hapo koti ndio hiyo box. Unajaza halafu unapeleka mini pharmacy. Watu wakabutu meswati. Unajiuliza sasa. I spent 3+ nights with farm care. Nabeba cattle. You know, and some of you are doing that. Okay. So to optimize the therapeutic outcome, there must be pharmacies specifically dedicated. Okay, compensated for providing what? Direct patient. We are not here there, but we will be there with time. I know we'll be there. But at my facility, I told them every 100 will cater for me. In the conference, we mujue tu, you have to pay for me. So pesa, you mean and generate. Okay? For you feel more fulfilled. Okay? You sleep well. No one will cause an intervention at molecular level. Okay? You feel good. So anyway. They should listen to me. I can remember something, okay? But when you're just being routine things, you can't. Yeah, it's just one time. And that's why from tech, they're always watching you, okay? When you are working, they'll watch you. After that, you want them 3 hours to control. You never change that. Okay, unafaa kunamwambia ewe endelea nikuje watching you. You never change that. You struggle. You say you change that. Okay, elevate pharmacy professional from what? Dispensing culture. I said no. I was telling Omega, the rate of Omega, I like it. I was telling no. I'll never live this life. I must change I'll make my practice myself. I'll push it the way I feel I need to do it and retire in it. Okay? Dispensing culture to consultancy practice. Okay? You need to move to that level. Of course, you need masters, you need to advance your training, is very important. Okay? Then we are at the point of what? Connectivity. We have all the pharmacies. We can refer many patients with drug issue to Wamboi. We can refer. We can refer them to Opanga. We have them. They are there. Why don't you? We normally say referral system is a professional practice. Does not mean you are deficiency to handle the patient. But we normally say, medical ethics, we say you refer patient to a better placed person than what? Than you are. We use the word better what? Less. Better placed. We don't use who knows a good physician. No, there's nothing like good and bad. But he's better placed in terms of what? Skills. Okay? Good. What else? Now, this guy, he said that medicine used to be simple, ineffective, and what? Relatively simple. But he said that now it is complex. Complex why? Patient is on more than 5 drugs. And they, of course, they are more than 5, but they're effective. But the problem is they are what? Potentially dangerous. So we need to intervene there. Anything else? My brother, I think we are through. So maybe you can check. You know, I've invested a lot in MTM. And I think if I can get any master's in MTM here, I can drop pharmacotoxicology and I go there, okay? But that would be my next move. So I realized when I'm talking to farmers since 2013, they say, Kathare, what is that MTN you are talking about? And then they are saying MTN instead of MTN. So, even today, somebody has just posted here, just now, he's talking about MTN. So I realized, we don't read. And you say the people they don't read, they become what? They become a problem. So I developed a few modules based on American. I did American modules. I think I've done like 23 of them in different areas. And what Dr. Kwasa was talking about them, MTM in HIV, MTM pharmacies in HIV, there are those modules that are there. They are very good. So I developed ours, that the first and only of its kind in Africa. Okay? So you can model on them as you continue making it. You need books, I have some books, but of course one is like 17,000. If you want to invest, you can claim, I give you. So, and that is it. But I'm looking to see I'm better tomorrow, where pharmacists can say, I want my son to do pharmacy. But the way things were, my son was to do marketing, okay? I wanted to do marketing direct, okay? Because he was making more money. But now I think things are changing by the grace of God, and I advise him to go to farm school so that he can continue with the MTM services. Are we together? May God bless you. Any questions?